This is the Finesse Media Podcast.
Don't know how long
All right, Erica, let's get this thing started, right? So we're back. It's May. Happy Cinco de Mayo to all my people that's out there celebrating. But we're back with another episode of the Finesse Media Podcast, Season 4. And I'm your host, Ken Finesse Media. And as I mentioned to you, each and every week, I'm bringing you something brand new. And this week, I got someone brand new and someone that's been finessing the game for a long freaking time. She's my alumni sister from the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, but she's also the CEO, founder of SIA. And if you don't know what SIA is, it's a home bakery that specializes in gourmet treats for any occasion. And SIA have provided personalized gourmet treats for weddings and large companies and functions. So without further ado, and welcome to the Finesse Media Podcast, Season 4. For the first time, my girl from the Alpha Road chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha. Make some noise again for Erica Sanders. What's up, girl?
How you doing? Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. I'm so happy to be here.
Listen, I'm happy to have you on. I said it with a lot of drum roll, and I give it to every guest and every finesser that comes on and join me on episodes, because I believe you guys are finesses. But Erica, listen, you are a homegirl from a long way, as I said from at the top of the episode, from the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff is where we met each other. But you're from the Show Me State, St. Louis, Missouri. What was that like going from St. Louis, Missouri to Pine Bluff, Arkansas?
Oh my goodness, it was a culture shock, right? Even though my city wasn't as big as Dallas, it was still
for real.
Going into Pine Bluff, right, a small town. But you know what? I would not take that experience back any day. I do it all over again, because that's where it all started, at University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, at HBCU, where I received my bachelor's in business management and concentration administration. So that's where it all started. So I wouldn't take it back.
Man, Erica, we had so much fun on the yard. Oh, man, shout out to the alumni that continue to support this episode and support this season, man, that's watching. But Erica, and you also joined Alpha Kappa Alpha, as I mentioned, Alpha Road chapter, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So shout out to you. And I think you may be the first AKA on for the season, Season 4. So I'll ask you, since we're in a lot of hoopla, politically speaking, but shout out to your soror, Kamala Harris, Vice President. What's your thoughts about her being the president? Yes,
you know what? A strong,
or the vice president.
You better speak that into existence. Say it again.
Hey, it's happening. They say if Joe not off too long, she might be taking over.
You know what? A strong Black woman. She's doing everything she can. You know, with all the politics and everything going at her, it's always gonna be some negativity, right? And she's a woman at that, a Black woman at that. But you know what? I give it up for her from sticking in there and still moving forward and not allowing the negativity to get to her, right? Because that's all we know how to do is move forward. Strong Black woman. So. Yeah,
people laugh or not laugh, but they're kind of getting at her laugh. They're judging her laugh. I don't know what that is, but I love that she's also an HBCU alumni, you know, Howard University grad. So
you know what else they judge?
The judge.
Her and her pearls.
You say what happened?
Her chucks. They judge that too.
Yeah,
but I
chucks.
love it.
She's a lover of the chucks. I mean, the lady can dress it down.
Okay.
She could dress it down. No, for sure. But also, last I saw you, Erica, was at my birthday dinner. We're showing the photo right now with also your LS, another member of Alpha Kappa Alpha, Tiffany Henry. What's up, my Virgo sister? We got to do something this year. But last year, you came to the birthday dinner, man. I appreciate you for being there. You and we had a good time, but what you brought me is what we here to talk about today. In part, because you're doing a lot and we'll unpack it all, but in fucking part, man, these strawberries, man, what you brought to that dinner, again, thank you for coming. Thank you for the gift. But those strawberries that you brought me were super good. I wish I could show a photo of what they look like, but I'll show you other photos. You're seeing them of what these trees look like. So SIA is a company that you started. I mean, but before we get into Sia, I want you to tell me about the lady who kind of inspired you and who you was in the kitchen with. So just tell me about Mary Jane Harden. Tell me what was she like, and tell me how she impacted Sia, which we introduced in the top of the episode. But tell me about Miss Harden.
Oh, my grandmother, just so soulful, and you know what? My grandmother's from Arkansas before she came over to St. Louis, Missouri. So you get that soul food, that home. And most people don't even know what soul food is, right? You gotta really, really break it down to them, because you got different types of soul food.
Arkansas tried to do a soul food situation. You saw they canceled it. So I mean, I don't know. There was some Republicans in Arkansas trying to do something at the Arkansas stadium. It got canceled though, nonetheless. But
you got to be done right.
She was from Arkansas, but she moved to Missouri.
Absolutely. And it all started in the kitchen, right? Cooking. It all starts in the kitchen. Yeah. Tradition. I say that all the time. Tradition started in the kitchen. But mixing different ingredients together just to get that bomb flavor, the right taste that everybody likes. So I incorporated that in my treats. So I started with just family and friends and doing events. But I know a lot of people do what I do, right? A lot of people do what I do. They dip treats and they sell them. But if you don't have the right ingredients going into it and listen to your customers, you ain't gonna get it right. Yeah. You're just not gonna get it.
And we're gonna go right into it. I'll go right into Sia. So Sia is a lifestyle. I mean, what you rebranded the company as a lifestyle. So I mean, it's not just treats, but with the treats, I'll stay there with your treats. Kind of what I mean, outside of Ms. Harden, your grandmother, who inspired you to do it. But what stands out? What makes Sia stands out? As you said, everybody's making the treats nowadays. But what makes yours stand out? I mean, those shits were super good for me. I'll tell you before you respond. The amount of chocolate that was on it, but it stayed on the strawberry. And I just had the strawberries. I mean, it's not like you only specialize in strawberries. Let me be clear, y'all. She got a full dessert line, but I had the strawberries. What those did for me and what stood out for me on those was that they were consistent in everyone, because I had maybe 5 or 6, but although all of them were consistent, the chocolate didn't fall off. Some you just bite, Erica, and all the chocolate falls off, and now you just got like a strawberry. Now you just eat strawberry.
Baby, I'm so into you, darling. If you only knew all the things that flow through my mind, but it's just
strawberries and chocolate on the side. But what stands out for Sia on the treat side that you're able to really garner a nice customer base?
Well, you heard the saying that says that you can give a person a recipe, but they can't do what you do. They can't duplicate. You have to have your hands in it, and not only your hands, your soul, right? You have to have a passion for it. But like I said, everybody, a lot of people can do it, right? They can go in the kitchen and do it, but can't do it like I can, especially if they don't have my hands, right? But it all started with the rebrand. So you have to have the taste as well as the look. So I changed my logo. Yeah. Because during COVID, we had the time, right?
And I was going to ask you, because you transitioned, as we said, you moved from St. Louis to Dallas, but you did all of this kind of rebranding, relocation during the pandemic. So how did that affect or even help your business?
Well, honestly, it helped my business. Dallas have this hospitality about themselves, where everybody want to help. If you're doing something, they want to help, right? So when I first moved here, everybody is just so extremely nice. I hear that a lot. And I see, I thought to myself, I said, maybe it's people from all over, different locations in different cities, and they just want to get to know each other, right? We're from all over. It's not, Dallas ain't even just Dallas. Dallas is the everybody.
It is.
But I rebranded. Like you said, I did a lot, but it's also the look. I wanted to have a more classier look. And then you said it, that the tagline, "Sia Life," is a lifestyle. Yeah. So I wanted to bring my lifestyle into the brand, which is classy. You know that, right? When you look at my page, you don't see just regular pictures, me taking regular pictures. My treats is an amazing dessert. It's a delicacy. So when I take those pictures, I take pride in it. You see the shimmer and the shine. So when you taste it, you like, wow, like you said, the chocolate don't fall off. It stays on there. So it's amazing. And not only that, when I rebranded it, I'm still in my phases of rebranding. I've only been through phase 1, right?
Yeah. So talk
that's
to me about those phases, because in that transitional piece, when you did restructure or relaunch your brand, you said, "Hey, I'm going to roll this thing out again as a lifestyle." So talk to me about the phases, the different phases on how you plan to roll out.
So the lifestyle, it originally started as fashion. I started selling clothes and doing fashion shows. It originally started there. But when I moved to Dallas, the treats just start picking up a lot faster than the fashion shows and selling clothes. So I honed in on the treats because people love food.
And Dallas, you and I, we're both in Dallas. Man, listen, sis, these folks love food. Now we'll argue about emos being better, and I'll argue about, my Italian beefs, you not being here. But for fact, these people love to shop, eat, and drink.
Oh my goodness, you said they love to shop, eat, and drink. And amongst all of that, they love a good snack. So that I love to party too, because a lot of my treats would be at parties, small gatherings, birthday parties. You'll have retirement parties, business get-togethers, and they just love the treats. So I had to hone in just on that part of the business in the first phase. Second phase will be the essentials, which would be the candles. And I kind of start rolling that out already. And that's going to officially launch next month in June. And then after that, we can start picking back up where we left off, the fashion shows. We're going to get all that together, and then it's going to come in full circle, right? Because I started with the fashion shows, and you get my complete lifestyle. So SIA Life, it's a lifestyle. So you'll get to experience me and everything that I do.
Yeah. What's the goal for SIA? With 3 different phases. I mean, that's a lot to unpack, but the way you're going to roll it out, I mean, it's going to keep the people just waiting. And for me, when you say candles, I'm like, okay, perfect. Because in this space that you see me in, I love to fumigate it with lots of different smells. I mean, I got my sage very close, but I don't have any candles. So as you bring out those things, but what is the goal for SIA?
Listen, I don't have an end goal. I'm going to continue to grow. Right. I'll tell you what my extended goal is. There's no end goal at all, because those phases, we're rolling out those candles. I have treat boxes. I just sent 2 treat boxes to the National Basketball Players Association. Sent that all the way to New York. And in that box, you had a personalized box with my treats. You had the candles. You had the essentials in there. All you're missing is a party, right? So you're still experiencing the complete lifestyle of SIA with having all of that together. So even when I do roll out the parties and the events and going back to the fashion shows, my candles are still going to be in there lit up on the tables, right, as a centerpiece. You're going to have your dessert table, the snack table, and then you're going to have myself in there. You still experiencing my complete lifestyle, right? And it's going to be extremely classy. Yeah. So cheers, right? We're gonna have our wine and we're gonna cheers.
And we'll toast. And we'll definitely toast to it. But what's super cool about being an entrepreneur, and one that's finessing it and continuing to move, and again, literally move from one location to the next, and trust that your clientele will follow, because I'm sure the folks back in Missouri are missing you. But you also here with a lot of your alumni friends, myself, and also your sorority sisters. So what has that feedback has been like, and how has that been received from people that you do know?
Oh my goodness, I received so much support. When I first moved here, they was like, "Where are you?" I was like, you know what? I still ship. I was still shipping. When I first moved here, I was shipping more to St. Louis, and then my Dallas custom started rolling in. And like you said, with my sorors, they give me a lot of support too. So I do a lot of work for my sorors. Everybody that's here in Dallas, I have a few family here, but the support has come willing in. And I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the support came in with the rebranding, and then during COVID, right? Because everybody was just sitting down and they wanted to shop.
Everybody was on that phone adding things to the cart.
Goodness. And that was probably the peak of a lot of people starting their business as an entrepreneur. A lot of people didn't go back to the office. A lot of people didn't go back to work because entrepreneurship is just working nowadays in the 21st century. Instagram is working for a lot of people now.
It's a shame because it's almost like you feel guilty to say that the pandemic, or because we're still in it, so it's not as kind of a past tense, but the pandemic, when it first hit and throughout it in the beginning stages, certainly within the first 365 days, it's almost kind of been shameful in a sense to feel or to say, hey, I've been doing good and I've been making the most money or finding the best success during this time. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I know a lot of people who started their business and doing so good. And now we're only just the assistance that we received during that time.
Yeah,
It's just
for
like
sure.
you
We
just
needed
had that
those
time
checks
to
too.
sit down
So
and
those
think
checks definitely
put
helped.
together a plan.
Those stimulus checks
I
helped,
sure
Joe.
did.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Soror. But listen, people was able to put their blueprint together and map it out because, you know, without a business plan, a blueprint, you can't move forward. But that was the time to really get it going.
Yeah. And so with that kind of the adverse or the opposite of that, where the pandemic, as we know, for a lot of people, it affected them financially or it affected them emotionally. We lost people, lost a lot of people during that time. Erica, what do you say to people who is not inspired and that had those issues and their fire was blown out during the pandemic because of maybe the finances or because of maybe a loss of a loved one? What do you say to that person, inspiring that person, I guess, to get on to the next phase of their life? If it is to start a new business, or if it is to get back in the workspace, if it is to write that book, or if it is to, do whatever it is that they are motivated to do, what is your message to that person?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna give you just a little tidbit because I know we talked about my personal page versus my business page. My personal page, I help people out in their business. And I've been doing it for a long time. I've watched people flourish and grow from their business because, that's my background, right? And I work in HR right now. So it only take $100. It only take $100 and you can build a $250,000 business, right? So I do help people out. I'm not gonna give you too much strategy because they're gonna have to follow that page as well.
There you go.
You can follow at SIA Life. That's my business page. And then my personal page where I help people out in their personal life and their business will be at Erica Q Murphy. And then, like I said, I promise you, it only takes $100 and you can flip that really quick. A lot of people is buying wholesale products, right? And then if you add me, if you DM me, I'll tell you what the major website. How people be like, I pay you and I give you my wholesale list, my seller list. It's only one. You only need one. I'm telling you. So yeah, get at me.
Erica is dropping jewels, y'all. She's leaving breadcrumbs so that you can come and feast. And as mentioned,
I have some breadcrumbs for you too, my brother.
Hey, I need it all. Just send me a link, whatever it is. I need more than treats. I need the tricks, the trades. I need more than the treats. I need the tricks and the trades. And so with that,
I said, I'm gonna give you a few, I promise.
Listen, we're here, we're connected, we're virtually here, but we're physically here, so we can catch up on a lunch date or anything like that. Listen, y'all, Erica has been finessing it for so very long. She's not just an entrepreneur. She's, as she mentioned, a full-time corporate American employee, and she's also a mom. So she's kicking ass, man. But each and every week, Erica, on the Finesse Media Podcast, y'all know what time it is. I ask my Finessa, that's you, the person that's joining the Finessa. Who's that person for you, though, Erica, that you say that's finessing the game?
Ooh, you want to know who inspired me, or you just want to know who's next?
Who's is finessing the game? That's what I want to know, Erica. Who's that person for you?
You already know who she is, Tiffany Henry.
Tiffany Henry, for sure, man.
My goodness, another Soror, right?
Shout out to Crayola.
With her. Yes, and it's amazing that you can take a product out of a crayon and make it.
No,
right?
Tiffany Henry for sure. With Cool Creations. I mean, really, it's one of those brands that anybody can have. In her thing, it says it's for kids, it's for adults. I mean, of course, when you think crayons is for kids, but it's for adults. I got them. So Tiffany, you are definitely finessing the game.
And let me tell you something. This why she's really finessing the game. Just like me, anybody can do what I can do. Anybody can sit back and do what Tiffany do, right? But when you don't have the same blueprint, right? And your background is management, her background is marketing. So she know how to go a different way to bring in that customer, right?
Yeah.
To bring in that brand. So that's the main reason why myself and Tiffany know how to finesse the game.
For sure. And two ladies again of Alpha Kappa Alpha, the LSs from Alpha Road chapter. And just not only that part of what you mentioned, it's also about character and personality.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what it is. I've been, I think, in many different circles. And what I have found is that everybody wants the same thing. People want to be seen, people want to be heard, and people want to know how they did. And with that being said, if you're an authentic, unapologetically person, then people want that more than ever in 2022. I mean, longer the days can you pull a wool over someone's face and kind of try to sell the wood nickels, as we used to say, but it really is. People know real people, and that's what this is, and that's what it's going to forever be, and it's going to increasingly be that people want to buy from real people, not behind the screen. That's why social media is big than ever with a lot of corporate companies, because they want to touch folks. They're not going to www. nothing. They're going to your Instagram page. They're going to your social media sites, and that's where they're checking people out. And that's when they're, that's where they're lending their support. They're clicking their likes and they're doing the comments. So with that being said, see ya, Erica. Let people know how they can keep up with you, how they can follow and support you.
At sialife.co. Or you can shop online. I have my website. It's sialife.co, right? And then you can also follow my personal page if you just want some business tips. You want to get your business off the ground. I am happy to help. I support entrepreneurs. I support my Black-owned businesses. Go ahead and DM me at Erica Q Murphy.
That's what's up. Once again, y'all, you've been watching another episode with another Finessa. Erica, thank you again so much for joining me on this episode. You got to come back for season 5. Hell, if we got more time, and you can go back in season 4, because I see the phases. So I might want to come back and hear more about phase 2 and phase 3, sis. But for sure, thank you for doing this episode with me. And for people that's watching, again, support this sister, support this queen. If you're in Dallas, you probably can just pick it up. Can they pick it up?
Absolutely.
You ain't got to wait for shipping. So if you're in Dallas, Fort Worth, or if you're in a neighboring city, or if you're stopping through Dallas, hit her up. You can pick it up and then catch your flight back out from Dallas Love Field, man. Support this queen. Thank you, Erica, again, for joining the Finesse Media Podcast. You've been watching another episode of the Finesse Media Podcast, and I'm your host, Ken Finesse Media, and I'll see you next week with something brand new. Peace.
Hey, y'all. SIA Life did it again. We just sent 2 of our customized boxes all the way to New York City to the National Basketball Players Association. That's right, men like gifts too. Let me show you what we did. We have our essential oils, our masculine scented candles, along with the room sprays. Since this is a gift, our customer requests that we put a thank you card inside of the treat box. And who don't like treats, right? We have our gourmet caramel popcorn, which is a bestseller. And we put all of that inside of our specialized personal boxes. Order yours today.
This has been another edition of the Finesse Media Podcast. Join us again next week for the latest news from HBCUs. Special guest